talk about a little bit about GG Jackson going into the second round of the 2023 NBA draft. Now, I did a video last week and I also talked about the podcast last week that GG Jackson was scheduled to be a late first round pick. Now, if you remember, a lot of people talked about this, that GG Jackson, some people think that, oh man, GG Jackson, when he decommitted from UNC and went to South Carolina, that's what he get. You know, he should have been a top 15 pick, but because he went to South Carolina, then his value dropped. I do not think that. I do not believe that logic of thought. We will get into the meat and potatoes of why Memphis drafted GG Jackson 45th overall in the NBA draft of this current year. But my thought process, this is only Lucky Murray's thought process of how GG Jackson fell so far. I think him coming out a year early. Remember, he was the consensus #1 player in the class of 2023. He's 6'9". He has the skill set. He can score. He can jump the best of them. In high school, he was dominating. He led Ridge Reef to a few high school basketball championships in the state of South Carolina. So the young man can play basketball. But here's the issue. I think he left. Two things I think will happen. One, I believe that he left a year too soon, high school, and he should have stayed a year later in college. Here's what I mean by that. I think he should have just stayed that 2023 year, built up his stock, and then when he went to South Carolina, listen, he would have had that year of just maturity. Now, we all know that GG Jackson could play collegiate basketball. He did extremely well, but he was very inconsistent. If you look at any scouting report of GG Jackson, they say the same thing. The kid with incredible athletic intangibles, but he is stupendously inconsistent when it comes to playing basketball. And also his IQ may be questioned sometimes about his shot decision. But I'm just not telling you that from watching GG Jackson at South Carolina. I'm talking about what professional scouts are saying about GG Jackson online. But let's keep going. I think that's one issue. He should have at least stayed another year in college. I'm pretty sure if he stayed another year in college, he'd probably have been a top 15 pick right now. He wouldn't have been in the second round. Or he could have stayed another year in high school. He was going prep. He should have went prep, came back to South Carolina and proved that he is a consensus top 15. I think another thing, his inconsistent play and his meltdown at South Carolina. If y'all remember, I don't remember the game in particular, but I think it was Auburn. I think it was the Auburn game when the play was supposed to be drawn to him, and I think Meach Johnson took the shot, and he went on Instagram Live and was venting his frustration and said, listen, I'm supposed to be GG Jackson and I didn't get the ball. Why did I don't get the ball? It seemed like he was extremely immature, and that I think a lot of NBA teams were turned off by the lack of discernment on GG Jackson's part. If you're going to be a top 15 pick in the NBA draft, they're going to spend a ton of money on you, and you have to justify them spending millions of dollars and all these, not only in salary, but millions of dollars in marketing, millions of dollars in just player development, trying to get you to that next level so that you can be on their level. With that being said, GG Jackson didn't get that. And unfortunately, he failed in the draft. So let's keep going. He joins another South Carolina talent, and that is in Ja Morant. Here what the Memphis GM said about GG Jackson. He says, I think GG had self-admittedly didn't have the best freshman year. Common said, he is the youngest player in the draft. I think there are things with how he handled his approach to the game that he would very much take back. We see someone who, for his size, is incredibly skilled. We see someone who is a hard worker and who is committed to doing the right thing. So here's what GG Jackson averaged in college. He was 15 points per game, 5.9 rebounds. His best game in his collegiate career was against Auburn on January the 21st. With 30 points, he was 10 for 21 shooting, including 50% from 3-point, going 4 of 8. So the Grizzlies did not have a first round pick in the NBA draft. So that is probably good for GG Jackson because he's not battling a #1 draft pick. They may end up putting some tools into him to see if he can develop. And they're not spending a whole lot of money on a second round non-guarantee contract. So GG Jackson may can sneak in the back door. There was only 2 players selected in the second round for the Grizzlies, and GG Jackson was one of them. So here's who he has to fight off against in that forward position, power forward, small forward. You got Ziaire Williams. He got 2 years left on his deal. You got Jaren Jackson Jr., which is the top, defensive player of the year. So his position locked down at the power forward. And you have Brandon Clark as well. I think that GG Jackson, they got him as a 4. I think he'll play the 3 at the next level. I don't think he has the bulk to play the 4 in the NBA, but I do think he has the length and the athleticism to play the 3 in the NBA. I think he can make the team as a 3, like I said before, but I think he'll spend a little bit of time in the G League with the Memphis Hustle. That's the G League affiliate team with the Grizzlies. And I think that he will have a limited impact on the Memphis Grizzlies this year. I think he's a project player. Give him 2 or 3 years, we may hear about GG Jackson in the NBA. But GG Jackson, congratulations. Keep up the good work.